One more time, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter!
First and foremost, we need to thank these 4 young ladies once again for organizing this. Let's thank them. Now I have a speech written, I'm gonna try to stick to it, but I didn't know how many children would be here. So ladies, I want you to look at all the children here who are looking at you. They are elementary, middle school kids, other high school kids who are looking at you and realizing the change that they can make. So I want you to realize that, like, you're teaching adults, which is sad that you have to do, but you're doing it. And you're teaching the other children that they can make a difference. And I'm a parent. I have a rising 6th grader that's going to be at Getty's Elementary, and I thank you because you're teaching him right now. So thank you. My name is Amber Lang. Many of you are probably wondering why I'm up here. I'm having that same thought right now because I have heard so many inspiring words before me. I don't know how much I can add, but I am a white person who wants to see the end of discrimination, of violence, of the murder of brown and black people in this country. And I know that there are faces out there like me who want the same. We have to start speaking to each other. Guess who does not need a lesson in racism here? Black and brown people. They experience it every day. We need to start talking to each other, holding each other accountable. So I have a few words. I haven't even looked at my speech and none of this is on it. So I am going to get back to what I wanted to say. So when I say action, and we've heard a lot about action today, I'm not talking about a Facebook post. And that's fine if you did that. That's fine, keep doing that. That's not the only thing that's gonna change this country. I'm not talking about holding up a sign today. That's great, you're here. I'm glad you're holding that sign, I'm glad you're here. This makes me so happy. That's not where it ends. This is where it starts. Some of you have been doing this work for years. That's great. Some of you are here knowing that change is needed, but you're not quite sure what to do about it. You're not quite sure what to do next. And I just wanted to share a few things that need to happen in order for us to make change based on my experience. And my experience as a white person now living in the South. And a white person who wants to end this, who wants to do their part to help to end this. The first thing we have to do is reflect and admit that we have caused this trauma. It's okay to admit that. The world will not end. We are standing on ground that we took from Native Americans. We brought over 12 million enslaved people here against their will. We did that. Now, a lot of people like to say that was so long ago. But guess what? We set up systems that are still oppressing people today. We set up education systems. We have set up judicial systems, justice systems, healthcare systems. Do you know who is disproportionately impacted by COVID-19? Black and brown people. They don't have the resources that we have. They don't have access like we have. And we have been purposeful in that. Do not kid yourself. So I'm asking you as a white person to start having conversations about that. The world doesn't end by you saying, we have done racist things, I have thought racist thoughts, and now I am going to try to fix that. I am going to deal with that. I am going to work with other white people, and we are going to work together. Let me just be very transparent. I have racist thoughts every day. I am standing in front of people I don't know in a world that does sound bites that could be on the news tonight. But it is important for me to admit that so other white people will also admit that too. But guess what? I work on that daily. I try to have a better day. I try to have a better thought. I have to work on myself before I can make change for others. And it is an everyday job. You don't wake up one day, all of a sudden you are perfect. Nobody in this crowd is perfect. Nobody. But we have to work on ourselves. Okay, this is still not what I was going to say on my speech. Okay, I got through a lot of it. Okay, second thing, we have to start educating ourselves. So a lot of people are changing this conversation. If I had you raise your hand, how many of you here have heard on black crime? And that's everybody's talking about that now because of the riots. Everybody's talking about that. Well, did you know? It's actually not a thing. Poverty causes violence, not race. Nobody is born more violent than somebody else. And actually, urban white people are more violent than urban black people. Okay? You have to do the research yourself. So I did a little more research, and I know you're gonna go and do this because that's what you're here to learn. But I have to read this because I want to get it correct. The CDC actually reported the rates of homicides, gun killings, illicit drug fatalities are the highest in counties where 9 out of 10 people are white. And Trump won the county. If you're going to tell me about black on black crime, I have to have something to tell you, and it's called the truth. So you need to have the truth. That starts with getting educated. And don't ask your black friend to educate you. Do it yourself. Now, I'm almost done, but that's a very broad subject. What do you know about the issues happening in this state? Who here has heard of the corridor of shame? We have a place in this state called the corridor of shame where it happens to be mostly black people live on the I-95 corridor, and they have been going to subpar schools since slavery ended. You need to look that up and you need to learn about it. All the counties down there are going to schools that are falling out around them, and they're 80 to 90% black. If that was happening at Easley High School, there'd be a riot that would tear down this whole place. Daniel High School, all the high schools, we would never stand for it in Pickens County. Why aren't we doing something in Allendale? Why aren't we doing something in Colleton? Why aren't we doing something in Hampton? Because that's where the black people live in this state. So just do that research on your own. It's happening right here. So I'm going to end. The last thing I want you to do, and I think Representative Collins, is he still here? Hi. First of all, he's here. He is here. Thank you. But he's here. Do we have any other elected officials here? Just raise your hand. Any city council people? Any county council people? We're here? We got one? The mayor's here. That's amazing. The mayor. Give the mayor a round of applause. So what do you need to do? You need to go ask why they weren't here. Or what are they doing about this? And again, there is an election coming up, and I will tell you, Neil wouldn't tell you this, he is always heavily contested in the Republican primary because these quote unquote real conservatives or real Republicans try to get him out of the office because he actually does speak his mind. So don't always go just straight ticket. Don't always agree with him. I'm not signing up quite yet, Neil. But I'm just saying, he is in a fight. He's always in a fight. And let me tell you, there's some scary people out there trying to take his seat. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. So, what he said, I'm sorry I went off on that tangent. He said that you have to talk to other white people, and that includes your family. That is the hardest thing to do. I know that personally. But that is where you have to start. You have to start with these uncomfortable conversations, because guess what? We get to go out of our houses every day. I don't worry about my freedom being taken away from me.